Hi there! So here is the newly launched 55-inch Sony Bravia 7. Now this is a mini LED TV that brings the cinema experience to your home. Recently we attended the Bravia launch event in Hyderabad, and who better to talk about cinema than the legend himself, SS Rajamouli. What an amazing experience it was. Coming back, so if you're that person who always asks what's the brightness of the TV, how's the contrast, well then this one is for you. The Bravia 7 can get extremely bright as well as pitch dark in the same frame. Basically stellar contrast. Don't worry, we'll talk about the experience further in detail. Apart from that, it's packed with features like you get 120Hz refresh rate, there's Dolby Vision support, there's also Dolby Atmos support, Netflix enhanced mode, the Sony Bravia Core app where you can access true IMAX enhanced content. Then there's hands-free Google Voice Assistant, VRR and ALLM support, ideal for PS5 gaming, which too we'll cover further in detail. Trust me, there is so much more and we haven't even scratched the surface. I've been using this TV for about 2 weeks. Let me share everything in detail so you can decide if the Bravia 7 is your next TV or not. Let's begin. So we'll start as usual with the unboxing. Here's the retail packaging with Sony branding. You can see the model number XR7 along with the size 55-inch. On the top there's a mini LED logo, XR backlight master drive, XR processor, acoustic multi-audio and Google TV logo. On the side are the manufacturing details, the contents of the box and the MRP of 2,49,900. I've said this before and I'll say it again. Do not unbox this TV on your own. Firstly, that would void the warranty and you could also damage it. Sony will be sending a technician to your doorstep. They will unbox it and set it up for you at no extra cost. Inside the box we have some paperwork starting with the warranty card, then we have the reference guide and we also have the setup guide. 2 AAA Sony batteries for the remote and finally of course the remote. Now we've seen this design of late in the last few Sony TVs. Very nice, compact and user-friendly design. You have the power button on the top, you have the TV button, input button, you have the Google Assistant button, D-pad to navigate, then you have the volume up and down button, the channel up and down, you have shortcut keys for Sony Pictures Core, there's Netflix, Disney Hotstar, Prime Videos, YouTube and Sony Live. Really nice and easy to use. Some of you might have noticed there's no table mount or wall mount included in the box anymore. So Sony has made a really smart move. Technically you need either of the two. So when the technician comes to set up the TV, he will ask you what you need, a table mount or the wall mount, and he will bring it along and install it for you at no extra cost. So I called for the table mount, which came in this big box. The stand came wrapped in this plastic. Let's open it up. The quality of the stands are absolutely top notch. Slim base with a matte grey finish. By the way, this is all metal, including the top section. Very well built, just as you would expect from a Sony product. Also, you don't need screws to fix these stands. Simply push them in and they will lock and attach. Easy peasy. Alright, so we fixed the stands and table mount the TV. Solid build, almost invisible bezels I can say. The side frame is all metal, looks super premium and completely blends in with the panel. The lower bezel is also quite slim, Sony branding towards the extreme left. Then right in the center is the standby light, far field mics and the light sensors for adaptive brightness. The stands look really sleek, flat design and they truly stand out, provide an excellent grip to the TV. Moving to the back, first look and you know it's premium. It comes with this mini box like textured design. Doesn't this look cool? But my only concern is dust accumulation over time. Would be a task to clean. Then we also get side firing tweeters on both the sides for better crisper highs. Then towards the left is the power cable which comes attached, while all the rest of the ports are on the right. Starting from the top, dual USB-A ports, digital audio input, 2 HDMI 2.0 ports, 2 HDMI 2.1 ports, LAN Ethernet and 2 antenna ports. Alright, firstly, glad to see one USB 3.0 port, so faster loading speeds while playing local content from the pen drive. But I'm not a fan of dual USB ports. However, it's not a deal breaker. Then HDMI 1 and 2 ports support 4K at 60Hz, while HDMI 3 and 4 support 4K at 120Hz. So if you want to connect a set-top box, then ideally use the HDMI 1 or 2 port. But if you want to connect a gaming console like a PS5, then you can use the HDMI 3 or 4 port. The HDMI 3 port also supports ER, so you can use it to connect it to soundbars and home theater system for digital audio output. Also keep in mind ER, so Dolby Atmos pass-through will work like a breeze. Let's have a quick look at the specifications. So we get a 4K mini LED panel with local dimming support, resolution of 3840 by 2160 pixels. We get the Sony's latest XR processor, 120Hz refresh rate with VRR support, which makes it ideal for PS5 gaming, 3GB RAM with 32GB internal storage, Dolby Vision and Dolby Atmos support, 40-watt sound output with acoustic multi-audio, and is running Google TV OS. Now before we talk about the display, I would like to share some info on the mini LED technology. In many ways, it's very similar to a full array LED TV, just that bigger LEDs are replaced with much smaller ones and are placed a lot closer to each other, giving you more control on the dimming source, which eventually helps the TV produce higher brightness levels and almost OLED-like deep blacks in the same frame. Very similar viewing experience to an OLED TV, but with mini LED TVs, the panel can get super bright, eliminating halos and bloating issues. Enough gyan, let's talk about how it performs. Well, I must say, it's an experience like no other. Sony's proprietary XR processor elevates the experience to the next level. XR Triluminous Pro and Live Color technology make sure the colors pop like an OLED display, but still, they aren't oversaturated. I must add, they do have some warmer natural tones and feels very soothing to the eyes. Watching 4K HDR content is an absolute treat because that's what this TV is ideally designed for. Vivid bright colors with crisp clear blacks. Sony's XR Clarity engine brings life to these images as there is so much more detail than you can even imagine. Here's a true fun of a mini LED panel. Bright details and deep blacks. Everything looks so gorgeous. Again, if you would ask me how much is the peak brightness, I would say more than you're going to need. We all know Sony doesn't reveal their exact nits of peak brightness, and I'm not going to use a cheap lux meter that some reviewers use because trust me, that's not the way to test a TV's brightness. Any technician who understands TV would agree with me. But that's not the point. Then what exactly is the point? The point is, TV doesn't need to have high brightness. It needs to have just the perfect amount of brightness. And the Bravia 7 hits the bull's eye. You can actually see how well lit the panel is, and it's equally well lit, which is the most important point. The content just shines. The brightness on this panel is never going to disappoint you. Also, check out the dynamic range. Super bright whites on one side and pitch perfect deep blacks on the other. I don't think I need to say anything more. The video speaks for itself. Frankly, black levels aren't exactly as deep as an OLED, but it's the closest you can get here. Here's my favorite dark scene to test for contrast levels. Here you can see the characters are so clear, but everything around them is just pitch black. When Sony says, let's bring cinema to your home, this is what they mean. Enjoy movies to the fullest. Here's another similar action scene. The amount of clarity and detail in a dark scene is spectacular. Just loving it. Then we also ran the usual blooming test and I was in awe. There was no light bleed, there were no light trails and no halo at all. The contrast separation was just spot on. This is a true test of a mini LED panel. We also tested the display in a bright, well-lit room. Thanks to super high brightness levels, everything is super clear, fun to watch. Place this TV anywhere and you can enjoy content to the fullest. When it comes to the viewing angles, I would say they are decent, not the best. Even though there was no shift in color or tones, but the brightness would see a slight dip. Frankly, it's not that drastic, most people probably won't even notice. The Bravia 7 also supports Motion Flow XR. Don't get confused. It basically means it comes with MEMC on board, which adds frames in low frame content, providing more smoother experience. It's ideal while watching sports content and documentaries. You can further make adjustment to this in the picture settings. Not all people are streaming 4K content, some use set-top boxes, and most of the times the quality isn't the best. Well, Sony Bravia upscaling is just next level. Now these are just SD channels, and you can see how Sony enhances the experience drastically. The text is super crisp, especially if you love watching news channels. The Bravia 7 is going to provide a very satisfying experience. Alright, let's have a closer look at the interface. So obviously we get the latest Google TV interface. We get the huge carousel, full screen carousel, which looks absolutely stunning on this mini LED display. The colors look just amazing. Check that out. Of course, further below you can see some recommended videos, then you have some pre-installed apps. We have Netflix, Prime Videos, Sony Live, TV, YouTube, Jio Cinema. There is a huge list of apps that comes pre-installed, and yes, we also get Sony Pictures Core. We'll come to that app a little later. Then of course you have PS Remote Play, Echo Dashboard. You can also control the TV using a smart speaker. Bravia notifications, media player, music player, browser, my god. And of course the best part is you can reorder the apps as per your preference. Like I use the VLC player a lot, so I can kind of bring it ahead and leave it here and click done. There you go. Now further below is recommended content for multiple OTT apps, and the best part of Sony TVs are how beautifully the interface is optimized. Not even a hint of lag, it just flows like silk, quite literally. And of course, let's go all the way to the top and we'll just dive in quickly into the settings. Now here, when we come into systems and further below, you can see it's running Android TV 12. I so wish this was running the latest Android 14. I'm very surprised it isn't, but still, it's not a deal breaker. Visually and feature wise, it's not really any different. So I won't call it a deal breaker, but still really good. If you come down further to the storage, you can see you have 16 GB of storage, internal storage here, out of which 13 GB is still available. So that's really good because now you can download more and more apps if you want to. Talking about apps and games, if you come to the app section here, this is from where you can download the huge collection of apps and games. Trust me, there's everything that you can think of. Spotify, Amazon Music, Hoichoi, my god, Mobi. Here are the games, which also we'll download and play further in this video. But there is a huge collection of apps and games that you can download from here. Absolutely flawless, super easy to use. Now, since we're talking about the interface, one of my favorite features of the Sony Bravia TV is the quick settings, which you can access directly from the remote. And this is such a handy feature, which I think should be there on every TV. Of course, you can quickly access the settings, Bravia notifications, picture and sound settings, content types. So for example, you're watching a video or you're watching images. If you want to go to the game mode, you can quickly access it from here. PC mode, then further in picture mode, these are basically preset profiles, vivid mode, standards, cinema, professional, calm, photo, and even IMAX enhanced. Yes, you can access everything right from here. Then further is brightness. You can adjust the brightness levels directly from here. You can even set it to max. I personally prefer it keeping it somewhere between 35 and 40. Then power saving mode can be enabled from here. Voice zoom, another very handy feature. So for example, you're watching a movie or TV show and the vocals are not clear. You can basically increase voice zoom from here and the vocals will be enhanced in all the audio. So you'll be able to understand the dialogue even more clearly. Then you have audio output. You can set it from TV speakers, or if you're connected to a home theater system, you can change the Wi-Fi from here. Then there's Bluetooth. So basically you can connect any Bluetooth earphones or headphones directly from here. Eco dashboard, parental control, picture off. Now this is again a very handy feature just in case you're listening to music or just streaming something from Amazon Music or something. You can just simply turn off the display, which will also basically help you save power, and you don't need to use the display when you're just listening to music. Then further is sleep timer. So for example, you're someone like me who watches TV late, you can set a sleep timer and the TV will turn off automatically, and the maximum you can set it is 120 minutes. Then you have on timer. You can also set an alarm. Then power on behavior and edit. So basically you can set these according to your preference. If you want to turn something off or turn something on, can be set from here. When it comes to the apps, the first one we tested is the Netflix app. The interface is extremely well optimized. Everything just flows super smoothly. By the way, this TV also supports Dolby Vision, and you can spot the Vision logo on some of the supported content. Now make sure you go to the picture settings and turn on Netflix calibrated mode. Now when you play content on Netflix, it will look like as the creator intended it to be seen. It's just amazing. Dolby Vision content looks absolutely stunning. Make the best of Vision content from apps like Netflix, Prime Videos, Hotstar and more. Then we also tested YouTube. Again, this too is very well optimized and works smoothly. We played a 4K HDR video and it played at full 4K without any lag or buffering. The brightness and the clarity is just wow. I'm literally falling short of words. Seeing is believing. But if you want to experience ultimate cinema, you must check out the Sony Pictures Core app. Here you can find a huge collection of high quality content to stream, which are perfectly tuned for Bravia TVs. Best part, it has the largest collection of IMAX enhanced content as well. Check that out. Now the app gives you 10 credits, which you can redeem to watch content. Like to watch Spider-Man, I will need to use one of my credits, but I've actually already redeemed one for the other Spider-Man Far From Home movie. Let's check that out. Wow, the detail, the clarity and the smoothness is just next level. Also, if you notice, this is IMAX content which goes edge to edge, providing more content than regular formats. Now this is a small snip of the same movie in a regular format. The difference is night and day. The Sony Pictures Core app actually is one of the biggest pros for me in the Bravia TV. Enjoy high quality cinema at your home. Then the Bravia 7 also comes with Google Voice Assistant on the remote, and there's even hands-free Google Voice Assistant. All you need to say is, "Hey Google, what's the weather in Mumbai?" And there you go, you get the answer on the display. Then you can ask it for the capital of France, or even ask it to play your favorite TV show from a particular app, like play Friends episode from Netflix. It does take a couple of seconds, but it works really well. There you go. All done hands-free. By the way, if you don't want to use this feature, you can turn off the button right next to the power button below. Then the device also comes with Apple AirPlay support, so you can mirror your iOS or Mac devices directly. Simply look for AirPlay devices on your phone, click, and your phone screen is mirrored to the TV. Frankly, it's not flawless. I can notice some lag, but still it's workable. You can share your image gallery with your pals on the biggest screen in your home. By the way, these are images from the Bravia event. Surprisingly, videos stream perfectly well without any lag or delay. I'm sure a lot of Apple and Mac users are going to love this feature. Then we also get Bluetooth on board. You can connect your favorite pair of Bluetooth headphones and enjoy audio without disturbing anyone in the room. Alright, let's talk about gaming. I know, a lot of people were waiting for this one. Surely if you're buying a 120Hz TV with VRR support, you know you have a gaming beast in hand. But let's start with the simpler things. We downloaded the Riptide GP game from the app section. Playing this was so much fun. It's probably the simplest yet coolest game to play on your TV, and that too just with your TV's remote. Super smooth frames, animations are just amazing, and you can enjoy it to the fullest. It's a great casual game. Alright, let's talk real gaming. So firstly, this TV supports VRR and 120Hz, which makes it perfect for console gaming, and what better than to test with PlayStation 5. Make sure you change the picture setting to the game mode once you connect to your PS5. Now the first thing I have to talk about is this gaming mode, which works only with PS5. There's picture mode, which can be toggled from here. Then you can see VRR is enabled, motion blur, black equalizer, screen size, crosshair and crosshair type. Now these are all important controls that you can access instantly anytime while gaming. It's so handy. Further below you can see some more info, the resolution 4K, 120Hz and so much more details as well. Alright, time to play. So if you have followed my videos, you know I love Uncharted. First thing you will notice is how well optimized the game feels on the Bravia 7. The frame rate is stellar. The response is on point, and the detail in every pixel is just jaw-dropping. It's probably one of the most flawless gaming experience I can say. You know, I could keep playing for hours. The experience is something beyond words. If you really want to make the best of your PlayStation 5, the Bravia 7 is probably the easiest Sony TV I would recommend. Alright, let's talk about the sound. Now we all know Sony takes sound very seriously. It's not just about having more speakers and more watts, it's eventually about the experience. The Bravia 7 comes with 40-watt output with multi-acoustic audio. Let's see how this sounds. Oh my god, this brings a true cinema experience to your home. The TV calibrates the acoustics as per the music and the room to give you the true to life audio. The two sound positioning tweeters provide excellent instrument and vocal separation. It almost feels like a concert. There is also surprisingly impressive bass, which is there even without a dedicated subwoofer. Voice zoom feature is one of my favorite things, where you can enhance the vocals so the dialogues can be heard even when there is loud audio. Something you have to experience to believe how well it works.
बेचारे क्रू के पास जहर खाने के पैसे नहीं है और हम लोग यहाँ पे 56 भोग लगा रहे हैं।
देखो भाई, इंसान को हर मौसम का फल खाना चाहिए।
I can easily say Sony does a brilliant job in the sound department. Alright, final thoughts. Now, I would have loved to talk about the cons, but there really isn't anything I can point my finger at. But if I had to nitpick, the display panel is extremely reflective, which might be a problem if you watch dark content in a very well-lit room. But again, don't worry, I'm just nitpicking and talking about the extremes. The Rest Bravia 7 is a premium mini LED TV which ticks everything when it comes to a smart TV. Amazing picture quality, stellar audio, perfect for gaming and packed with every feature in the book. The Bravia 7 will be available in 3 sizes, 55-inch, 65-inch and 75-inch, and here are all the prices. Though I must add, the prices keep fluctuating depending on the festive sale, so keep a track of it when you want to buy. I'll share the links of all these sizes below in the description, and to buy one, you should definitely check it out. So I hope this video was helpful. If there are any questions, mention them down in the comments below and I'll be happy to answer them all. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Until next time, cheers.